Before I get into the minutes, approval of the minutes, I'd like to review an email that was sent to Councilman Buchanan from Councilman Garillo.
Mr. Chairman, could we do the oath of office?
No, she did her oath of office.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
And it says-
What about Councilman Gabelli?
I did mine.
Okay, you did.
And it says, Sarah is generally ineffective. Councilman, would you like to tell us why we're ineffective?
Would you like to read the rest of the email, Chairman?
Sarah is generally ineffective because other than the borough engineer, there is no one with professional economic development or planning experience who can do the daily work that is required to improve Main Street, market the borough, encourage business, and move to Sayreville and develop capital plans for strategic sites like Route 35.
So that was my point, is that Sarah, now if you want to put this in context, the conversation I had with the council president, Dan Buchanan, we were talking about the town hall that I'm hosting next week in Morgan on Route 35. He had asked what some of the recommendations I was going to propose would be. One of those is something that you and I have had a conversation about, which is an economic development director, a position that would liaise not only with this group, but potentially with the planning board, open space, etc. He had asked me about that position, what the difference is between economic development and economic redevelopment. I'm not sure if that part of the email was included, but that was the question that generated that response. My answer was that this entity, while it has done wonderful things, including at the National Lead site and the Highview Homes, is not an economic development group. It cannot take certain items to the point where they need to be because we don't have someone on a daily basis doing the work that's required, not only for this group, but for other planning groups in the borough. That was my response. I think that that position that we were discussing, the subject of that email, would be an excellent supplement to this entity. It would make Sarah a better entity. It's for the benefit of the group.
Not to get into specifics, but I find your statement, Sarah is generally ineffective, insulting. You've been on Sarah for 6 meetings prior to this, only showed up for 3, just for the record.
That's inaccurate. I've been here since September of last
There have
year.
been 6 meetings since you've been on Sarah, and you showed up for 3.
So was my answer to your question enough? Are you happy with
No,
that
I'm not
answer?
happy. I find Sarah very effective. We're doing the second biggest project in the state of New Jersey. I think it's an insult to every commissioner on Sarah, coming from someone who has no experience on Sarah.
I am
And I
a
think
professional
you-
economic development person, though. I
But
think
what have you offered here? I mean, you say you have experience, but what have you offered? What are you gonna offer down in Morgan?
what am I going to offer
Yeah.
in Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to offer the opportunity to have merchant organizing. I think that's an important piece when considering the second highest land use on Route 35 after auto body shops is vacancies. There are 15 vacant properties on Route 35 between Old Spy Road and Bordentown Avenue.
And why
15.
do you think they're vacant?
Why are they vacant?
Yeah,
I think there's
I
no-
asked the question.
Yeah, well, I'm answering it.
No, well, okay.
So there's a complete lack of a cohesive plan for Route 35, even though it's a strategic corridor. I think it was great that the Highview Homes project went in. However, Club Benet site, there was never a plan for what was going to happen on that 3/10 of an acre piece that's sitting there. So the entrance and exit to our town is a vacant piece of dirt. There is no comprehensive view for the area. There's no merchant organizing. There's no enforcement of slow construction problems. There's no one to manage it. That is my position.
You
So
have a
your
diner that
question
just
to me is, what
opened.
would I do about it? I told you what I'd do about it. I would create a position within this borough, just like we did for IT, bring in a professional and have them do the work, to supplement the work that this group is doing.
You have a diner that opened about 3 years ago or longer, and they don't get the people in there like they're supposed to. Are you blaming the people in the area because the stores are vacant, that they don't go in the diner?
No.
Well,
There's no reason to shop on Route 35. There's no reason to stop on Route 35. We haven't marketed it well. We haven't branded it well. It's one of the best areas for maritime recreation. There are 3 marinas.
And one is moving out already. One
And why is it moving
one
out?
store is moving out.
Why is the
Well, you
reading-
tell me why.
Because it's not deep enough. The draft in Cheesequake Creek is not deep enough. It's been brought to the Borough Council as an issue.
We're talking about closing the boat shop
Yeah,
because the water's not deep enough?
the water isn't deep enough. Have you watched the council
I-
meetings that have testified about this?
I know that, but what does that have to do with the boat shop closing?
If Maritime is not successful in that area because the boats can't get in and out,
Well, Lockwood is doing well. They have a boat shop there and they're doing well. They're staying open.
so you've got this corridor that faces the water, right? Yet, no seafood restaurants, no.
The seafood restaurant closed.
Theme bars, no recreational on the waterfront other than boats themselves. So I'm offering an opportunity here, not just for Route 35.
So
But
your
for-
plan for that property was wildflowers? I saw that in an email. You want to put
Correct.
wildflowers? How much money can we get from that? This is economic redevelopment. Do wildflowers pay taxes?
What's your proposal to put on a 3/10 of an acre piece
Wait,
with
I think we
transportation
could put a, I
access?
think
I
we
don't know
could put a
what, I don't know
convenience
what
store.
property you're
and-
talking about.
The
So
one
you-
by
so you-
Club Benet.
Where
So what
Club
you would
Benet
rather
used to be?
do?
Yeah, we don't own that though.
No,
I
you don't
know
own
we
it.
don't own it. I
So-
know who owns it.
Yeah, Tommy's sister.
Transco owns it.
That's sold, the gas
that's
company
been-
owns
The
it.
gas company.
So it's like,
So
we're
how are
not
you gonna
doing
plant
anything
flowers
there.
there?
I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
if you're not up to date with what's going on.
You can let
So
me
are we
answer the
effective, we're
question.
ineffective because we didn't plant flowers? Is that what you're saying? Is that a function?
If you think
Do
that
you
a-
think that's a function of the redevelopment agency, planting flowers?
No, it isn't.
You're right.
You know what
And our
that should be?
function-
That land should be purchased by
By
the
who?
Open Space Committee, and it should be turned into a park. Are you aware that
There's
Morgan?
no money
Let me
in that.
finish. Are you aware that Morgan has the least amount of park access of any neighborhood in Sayreville?
Park
No, you
access?
probably weren't. There
Park
is
access?
Yes,
Park?
other than Tom's beautiful baseball fields and a few cemeteries, there's no park access. The people at Highview Homes, 200
Where's
units,
Highview Homes?
had no park space.
Wasn't it?
You don't know what Highview
John-
Homes
John,
is? Oh my
that's
God, you guys
it's-
passed the pilot for it.
John-
Did you see the big
Bean.
sign out front? Does it say Highview Homes?
We've been talking about that
Have-
for a year.
Does it say
Or
Highview
are you
Homes?
semantics or are
Morgan
you
Bluff.
planning?
Yeah.
Morgan.
Morgan's
That's
close.
right.
Oh, Morgan.
Where is Highview Homes?
They were the owners of the.
I understand that, but
Right.
that's not the name of
You're
the,
being pedantic for fun. The issue here is that you guys aren't talking, you want to fight with me over Route 35. Okay, let's fight about it.
because you make a
I'm
comment
fighting
without
with you
coming to
about
us and
this
telling us
email.
anything. You make these comments to the newspaper.
What newspaper?
Well, I never saw that before. I don't
This
work.
is-
I didn't see it either.
I think, Steve, the issue is they're taking offense that you put this in an email saying that the redevelopment agency is inadequate. I think it was a bad choice of words. You know, you're looking at people here, you know, and you said other than CME, everybody else is, you know, inadequate on the.
I didn't say that the agency was inadequate.
Wow.
I said that the agency is not equipped
You
to
said
do.
ineffective.
ineffective.
Because-
And a lot has gone.
You're leaving out a big part of that email, Mike,
It says SERA is
Intentionally.
generally ineffective.
Mhm.
because,
No matter what,
The only one that knows
it's,
what he's doing is the borough engineer.
not what I said.
It says.
I said that there are things that are recommended and discussed here that on a day-to-day basis cannot be implemented. We don't have the manpower to do it. Go ask your borough administrator what he thinks.
Well-
Ask him. He'll tell you, he doesn't have the manpower to
No, he
attract
doesn't.
businesses. And in my email, I say, we don't even have somebody to attend Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Why don't you go?
Why don't I go?
Yeah, you're in charge of planning and zoning on the council.
So you
Why
want
don't
me to go to meetings?
Why don't you go to Chamber of Commerce meetings?
Why don't you? You're the chair of SERA. You're
Right,
so
I
concerned about
attend
economic
SERA
development.
Well,
I have
he's
to. I've
inadequate.
been sitting
You
here
know
for
a lot more
15
than he
years.
does.
You've been here for 6 months.
Yeah, and you haven't gone to a
Only
Chamber of
showed up
Commerce
for
meeting in
3.
15
I
years.
actually have been to a Chamber of Commerce.
When was the
meeting.
last time?
A few years ago.
Oh, that's good. What I'm gonna do is I will gladly apologize to anybody that was personally offended. I did not mean to personally offend anyone. I respect this body quite a bit. I enjoy these meetings. I enjoy participating, and I think the work that's been done, especially at National Grid, has been unprecedented. And that's where I'll leave it. I think that this body deserves staffing beyond the great professionals that we have. I think you should seriously consider this position that I've been talking about for a number of months. I think it will not only help SERA, but it'll help a number of entities, and that's where I'll leave it.
Do you think this position should be on SERA?
No, we've talked about this before. I believe this is a position that should report to the business administrator and should liaise with SERA, among others.
Who's going to pay for it?
Should come out of the business administrator's budget, which should be approved by the council.
He has-
I'm not asking a red cent from SERA.
Right now, we can't.
But
we
you're
can't-
asking a lot of money from the taxpayers.
Yeah, I'm asking, well,
We
you know
sit here,
what?
it's like, the
We,
easiest thing in the world to do is for council people
Mhm.
and mayors and congressmen to spend everybody else's money. It's very simple to do. It's the easiest thing in the world to do, because it doesn't cost a dime for you. And if you wanna look at,
Well, I'm a taxpayer in the
if you wanna
town.
look at making things better, look at all the people that the borough has hired. How's our planner? How's the planning board? Are they doing an efficient job?
They
Yes
are.
or no? They
Yes.
are? Okay.
We agree to disagree.
My God, it's like, I was on the planning board for 18 years. It's like, let me tell you, I don't think you know what you're talking about.
All right. Well,
Duly noted, Don, I
Alright.
appreciate it.
That's all right.
Well,
And that aspect is
look,
good.
I have an event I gotta go to, and, you know, I'm glad you apologized, but I gotta say, just, you know what, Steve? I think a lot is going on. I'm reading all sorts of texts. I mean, you know what? I think you gotta look at certain things before your mouth. I think your foot is going in your mouth, and.
I don't appreciate you saying that
Well,
on
yeah,
television.
well, I'm there-
I don't think that's a fair
and I
thing to
don't
say.
appreciate-
I think that's a really political thing to say, and what shouldn't have been a
well.
political meeting.
Well, you know what, Steve, now that you said that, I'm gonna apologize to all the councilmen, since I put you here. And you know what, on behalf of myself, I apologize to each and every one of you, because I put him here, and he should have never made that statement. That being said,
I'll apologize to everybody for winning my
Alright.
own election as well.
excuse me, winning what?
I won my own election.
You won your own election? Nobody else
All
helped?
right, let's not get into politics. We don't want to talk
Okay,
politics.
like I said, I have a function I have to attend.
All right, let the record show,
Continue your good work.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from prior meetings held on July 1st?
So moved.
I abstained on the meeting, I did not attend.
I abstain as well.
Can you take the roll call? You can abstain. Roll call, please.
Trying to make a motion.
Roll call.
Who seconded that?
Oh, it was seconded? Dave.
Dave.
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Rebelny?
Yes.
Mr. McGill?
Yes.
That's it.